Well, good morning, everyone. As promised, my name is MightyStream, and I will be here with your July the 19th spiritual principle a day in a meditation. How are you doing this morning? I know it's early yet, so I'll give you a moment to figure that out. However, I'm doing well. I'm glad to be with you. Okay, the title of today's meditation, July 19th, Tempering Willingness with Humility. Tempering willingness with humility. Each member finds a level of service that fits comfortably into a balanced program of recovery. That is taken from It Works, Tradition 1, Applying Spiritual Principles. Each of us contributes to NA in ways that fit our lives and abilities. As home group members, we show up early and stay late. As sponsors, we demonstrate love in action. We elected to serve in various positions established by groups and service bodies to support our primary purpose. And we bring the spirit of service to our lives outside of NA. Giving back is an expression of our gratitude and a big part of our identity as individuals and as a fellowship. Service gives us purpose and helps us find our place in the NA community. But our commitment to helping others can skew our perspective at times. In the service equivalent to having eyes bigger than one's belly, let me repeat that. In the service equivalent to having eyes bigger than one's belly, we can be tempted to pile too many commitments onto our plates. We might find ourselves neglecting our families and step work in favor of service to others. Our willingness to serve can outpace its usefulness for many noble reasons and a few lousy ones, like avoidance, hubris, and a desire for control. We learn to be realistic about our limits, allowing humility to temper our willingness. It gets easier to ask for help and to recognize when saying no is the right thing to do. One addict shared, when I see someone being a commitment hog, I know their heart is in the right place, but they're not doing themselves or us any favors by taking on too much. One challenge is to moderate our willingness with some humility. Too much of this good thing is a bad thing for this addict and for those who have to deal with me. To balance our enthusiasm, we also become willing to consider our limits. We face our limitations collectively and as individuals. Time is not infinite. Our skill sets are not comprehensive. Sometimes our needs and passions simply exceed our aptitude and energy. We find ourselves willing, but not quite able to meet all the demands and to notice the price we're paying as we try to do too much. Honesty helps us to recognize reality. Humility allows us to ask for help and accept it. I will examine the portions of my service plate and temper my willingness with humility, sharing the blessings of service with others. That is a beautiful meditation. That is a beautiful meditation. And I want to take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Tempering willingness with humility. I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. We all have either been or know someone who has been a commitment hog. And it changes the energy they bring to the commitment. The way they do service changes. The way I do service changes when I'm tired, when I'm exhausted, when I'm in too deep. I have one too many commitments. I have one home group that I actually participate in regards to sharing. I have another home group that I had to step away from on the international meeting because it was just too exhausting. It was requiring, in order for me to fit it in, it required that I get up even earlier than I am right now to do that service. And it was just too much. So for a season, I can honestly say for a season, I've had to pull back from that one. My original home group, I still consider it my home group, but I don't do any service in that group for many reasons. So if I am in a position where I need to consider how thin I can spread myself, I think everyone should think about that. If you're not doing any service, why not? And if you're doing service, what is the energy that you bring to it? Or did you land in a service position 10 years ago and you haven't been able to work your way out of it because no one wants to step up? If you don't do it, no one else will. I double dog dare you to go to the next business meeting and say, I'm giving this position up effective next month, and see who steps up in the spirit of rotation. Give warning, right? Give them enough time to figure it out, and then pull back and let someone else step in. Because if no one else steps in and you were the only one carrying it, that's not right. That's not right. So I want you to be thinking about that today because it's important. Now, one of the areas that I think that we all, if possible, because I know that you have to pass a background check to do this for many places, is H&I. Hospitals and institutions, I believe that they need our meetings. And I believe they do a lot better when they have us come in and do them. I think that works a lot better for the people in recovery that are there, because then when they release, they have established themselves in a sense with someone that is in the program on the outside. Honesty helps us recognize reality. I like that. This is in that last paragraph that is talking about sometimes our skill sets have a limit to them. The aptitude and the energy might be lacking, or it can only go so far. Are you the type of person that will push your experience with a situation as far as serving past your aptitude, past your energy level? That is not really helpful. It's not taking care of yourself. It's not taking care of others. It's not honest. It's not humble. There's so many things that fall into that. And we all know your heart is in a good place. Or we assume that it is until you show us different. Yeah. So just think about that. This is one of those hoorah, hoorah meditations, but it is definitely tempering willingness with humility. It is definitely talking about that. And in that sense, it's very powerful and something, if you're moving into service, that you should consider. Family, I want for you to have a beautiful day on purpose. I'm going to do some service work for my family. I'm going to do some service work for my boys that failed to get the trash bins and the recycle bins out to the curb by 6 a.m. There's something deep inside of me that says, oh, let them have that opportunity. Wake them up out of their beds and let them have that beautiful experience of getting up out into that damp morning and drag those cartons out to the curb. But you know what? It's almost comical. So, what I'm going to do is do some service. I'm going to do some service for my family, and then I'm going to record my last podcast for today. Family, I want for you to have a beautiful day on purpose. I intend to talk to you soon.